Just outside of the Windy City, along a stretch of the most famous highway in America, sits Route 66 Speedway, the perfect spot for some Memorial Day weekend bar-banging action with the Progressive American Flat Track Series.
I'm the best dude here as far as ability-wise.
I really just need to go out there and do one thing, and that's to win.
We worked so hard this year. The team worked so hard.
Let the race begin.
We're underway. The carrot is there. Can he go after it?
It doesn't take much for a guy to go down.
Wow, that was close.
That was the pressure point.
Looking fantastic.
Wow, I did not expect this.
If he ruffles some feathers along the way, so be it.
Can't say these guys aren't tough. They take the win. Unbelievable run. You don't often see domination like this.
How impressive is that?
What a performance.
We haven't been disappointed.
It's been 14 years since the American Flat Track Series has raced at the Dirt Oval at Route 66 Speedway here in Joliet, Illinois, on the grounds of Chicagoland Speedway. J.D. Beach was the man to beat at the Atlanta Super TT. Briar Bauman hasn't won a race in 8 events, yet he's the reigning champion. And former champion Jared Mees won the season opener in Florida, then injured his knee in a training incident. Is he ready to get back to the top step of the podium? Hi, everybody. I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside the 2013 Super Twins champion, Brad Baker. And, of course, we'll have Kristen Beat joining us as well. And, Brad, look at these points. Only 3 races in, but we got a good championship fight.
Yeah, it's super tight. The whole top 10 is within 25 points. See Jared Mees sitting there in 4th place, only 9 points out of the lead. That's really good for him, basically sitting out there in Atlanta from that knee injury.
Speaking of that knee injury, here is Jared Mees back at the Atlanta Super TT. He had injured that knee in a training incident leading into the weekend. Could not race in Atlanta. Will he be ready here today, Kristen?
A lot of speculation surrounding Jared Mees, his knee, the injury, laid to rest last weekend in Texas as we were able to watch the bikes on track for a limited amount of time during practice. But Jared, any hesitancy moving into this weekend?
No, not at all. Last weekend for me was pretty beneficial just to go out there, make a couple rounds and feel it out. My very first few laps in practice, I took a little cautious, but came in and was actually really close to the leaders and went out and basically the next round qualifying 1 and was second fast. And I was very comfortable with that because I felt like I still had a little bit left. And, another week of recovery never hurts nobody. So I'm pretty excited for tonight.
14 years ago, the last time we raced here at the Dirty O, you actually won that race. What can you tell us heading into race weekend about the track, about your preparation moving into this race, and what your takeaways are from Joliet?
The last time I rode this racetrack, it was phenomenal. It was probably one of the best clay racetracks I've ever got to race on still to this day. The way it was prepped, you almost could ride it like a cushion, meaning just really get it on multiple lines. It never actually like blue grooved up like a normal clay track. You could pretty much ride anywhere you want, and if I remember right, we won that race with a lot of dominance. So it was a lot of fun that night. We were on top of it, and to put the icing on the cake, my wife Nicole made her very first Grand National main event here back in 2007. So it was a heck of a night for both of us.
What a night it was back in 2007. Here's a look at the stats for this racetrack. What do you like about it, Brad?
I like how wide it is. I think this is the widest half-mile car track that we actually go to on the circuit. It's very symmetrical, has a little bit of banking entering the corner, but it starts to taper off a little bit exiting the corner. But like Jared Mees says, it has so many lines that makes it really racy.
Taking a look at the highlights of Mission Super Twins Semi number 1.
See Bronson Bauman getting aggressive right away, not wasting any time, getting by Sammy Halbert. Starts to really set sail and brings home Semi win number 1.
There's a look at the top 7. Bauman, Halbert, and Briar Bauman, your top 3, with Davis Fisher finishing 4th. And we move on to Mission Super Twins Semi number 2. And this one answered any questions about that knee for Jared Mees, didn't it?
For sure, he's looking really smooth. This racetrack is right up Jared's alley. Looking great so far.
Brandon Robinson and Brandon Price follow him across the line with James Rispoli bringing up the backside of the pack in 6th. On now to the Mission Super Twins Mission Challenge. Top 2 finishers from both semis and $5,000 on the line, Brad.
Yeah, this is usually one of the most excited races of the night. I mean, 4 laps for $5,000. These guys are going to be going for it.
Pretty good. Brandon Robinson on the 44, Bronson Bauman on the 37, Jared Mees on the 9, and Sammy Halbert on the 69. Here we go.
Looks like Jared Mees is going to snag the whole shot.
He's going to go right to the bottom, just in front of Halbert. But coming around the outside is going to be Bronson Bauman on that 37 to take over second.
And Bronson looks like he's going to jam it up the inside of the jammer. And here's the slammer. Sammy goes up the inside of him as well. Jared goes from first to fourth all in one corner.
What a great run through those corners for Bronson Bauman. And the battle for second is Halbert as he pushes to the outside a little bit. Can Mees get any of this back?
There they see Brandon Robinson looking really strong. He's just up on the edge of the rubber. That's where there's still a little bit of moisture, trying to find some traction. Gets a good run on Bronson, takes over the lead going into turn one.
Robinson on that 44. The Indian mounted rider in the lead.
I can see that he's found a new line there, just right up above the rubber. Like I was saying, that's some moisture in the dirt. That's usually where there's more traction. Brandon's found that before anybody else. Let's see if he's able to set sail.
Bronson Bauman trying to close back in. 1 to go here. Final lap. Everybody sliding wide through 1 and 2 down the backstretch.
Yeah, Bronson's going to have to get really aggressive and run in deep, but maybe not quite enough.
$5,000 on the line here with the Mission Super Twins Mission Challenge. Coming off a 4 to the checkers. Brandon Robinson taking the victory on the Indian over Bronson Bauman. Jared Mees back to third, and Sammy Halbert rounds out the field in fourth.
Brandon's won 2 of these Mission Super Twins challenges this year. That's definitely helping his bank account and his confidence for later.
Let's go down trackside and hear from the winner.
You know, I got a bad start. I'm going to try and do what I can, and found something there. And, man, these mission challenges are really helping my wedding fund right now. So I'll keep it going, man. The track's turning out to be pretty awesome. So I think we're going to be in store for a really good main event.
I love it. He understands all about the wedding. And don't forget, Brandon, it's not your day, it's hers. That $5,000 is definitely going to help. We're coming right back for more racing action, including Shayna Texter's up when we come back to Chicago. American Flat Track is brought to you by Mission Foods, has you covered with race day recipes that are too fast, too tasty. Progressive insures over 5 million boats, motorcycles, and RVs. Get a quote in under 4 minutes at AmericanFlatTrack.com/progressive. And by Law Tigers, you never have to ride alone. Welcome back to the Chicago Half Mile here, what they call their Dirty O at Route 66 Speedway in Joliet, Illinois. For Shayna Texter, there's been a lot of changes in the last year, but one thing that hasn't changed, her passion for racing and desire to win.
Coming into 2021 season, I mean, my goal was just to have fun and win races again. 2020 was a little bit of a rough season for me, that was no lie, and I just kind of wanted to get back to a little bit more of, the basics, why I started racing motorcycles, and that was to have fun, enjoy it, and go out and do my best. And my motorcycle was dialed right back to, where I remember it back when I was winning races in 2019.
Shayna Texter, she won it in 2018, and she's going to win again in 2019.
The team worked really hard this offseason to give me what I needed, and, I can't thank them enough for sticking behind me through the deep waters. Getting married at the end of 2020 season, for me, it didn't really change a whole lot. I'm still me, I still know how to go fast and turn left. Brian and I have been together for a long time, and we've already figured out we make a great team. There was a lot of critics saying stuff last year, oh, she's getting married, she's older now, she doesn't care. Like Tom Brady said, and Breyer posted about it even. I thought about it all, and I'm a thinker, and the best way to quiet those people is to go out and show them, I know what to do on a motorcycle, and that I deserve this seat, and I deserve to be here. These guys are tough. The singles class is no joke. There's great competitors, and the last few times I won 3 races, 5 races, in one season. You're in a different mental state, so then all of a sudden I fall in this slump, and you got to claw yourself back out of it. And I think, now that I was kind of in that slump, the appreciation of winning is so much more. The crowd was insane. It was so nice having the stands full. You know, it's been a while, and I've missed them, and you know, I think they've missed us. I'm really looking forward to getting back to being able to interact with them more. So just that little bit extra interaction of them yelling, cheering, wishing me happy birthday is just so special, and to me, it's inspiring. You know, it's inspiring myself, it's inspiring other women, and helping the sport as a whole, and that's most important to me. Heading into the rest of the season, you know, for me, it's just tackling one race at a time. It's a long 17-round season, and I want to have fun, enjoy riding motorcycles, and try and get as many wins and up on the podium as much as I can. So if that goes well, 2021 should be good.
Well, Shayna's hoping 2021 ends up with a championship, Brad.
For sure, the top four are all within 17 points. Shayna only 10 points out with missing the main event there at Atlanta. She missed one race where she could have capitalized on some points there with Texas getting rained out, but she still has a great shot at the championship this year.
Let's take a look at the semis for the class with the singles, beginning with semi number 1 and Morgan Mishler out front.
Yeah, Morgan, he's a specialist. They see these types of tracks. He brings home semi-win number 1.
Michael Inderbitzen and Henry Wiles, the veteran, all follow him across the line. Top 8, all the way down to Hunter Bauer, transferring to the main, and we go on now to semi number 2.
Yeah, Max Whale wins this one with dominance, looking really good on his factory Red Bull KTM.
The tall, lanky Australian takes the win, and Ezra Brusky will round out the 8, going on to the main event. And that's where we're headed next. This is the American Flat Track Singles main event. There's Max Whale. You saw him taking the win in semi number 2. Mikey Rush right alongside. Boy, he thought he had a shot in Atlanta, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. Mikey Rush has been Mr. Consistent so far this year, been on the podium in all 3 races before this, but hasn't got that top spot. Maybe it'll come here tonight.
As you look at that starting lineup, you got to talk about Dallas Daniels. He was the guy in Atlanta taking 2 main events.
Yeah, he sure was, man. He was dominant. That was great to see him bring home 2 main event wins that night.
Good crowd on hand, as you can see in the grandstands. Here's our race facts. We're going to run for 8 minutes plus 2 laps, 17 riders in the field, and Shayna Texter's got our KTM on board as we get ready for the start. Here we go.
Man, that's a cool angle. You can just see how close these guys are off the start.
Look at how chaotic this is. Crazy just trying to find the line. We talked about the bar banging here. Cole Zabala on the outside of Shayna on that 51 as these guys try to settle it down.
Yeah, it looks like Mikey Rush is going to lead lap 1 with Morgan Mishler in tow.
Mishler, Bruner, and Max Whale right there.
Yeah, Mishler taking a little bit wider approach than anybody, trying to get up on the banking, carry as much momentum as he can.
This is an extremely wide racetrack, Brad. You got a lot of room to play with here.
Yeah, you really do, and there's definitely been some new lines that have came into play here tonight with the moisture that's coming up as the sun went down.
You can see 3, 4 good lines of opportunity here to spread out and pick your way around this big half mile.
Yeah, there's a lot of lines to choose from, but it's all pretty slick out there right now. The riders say that you really got to ride with finesse tonight. You got to keep your wheels in line. You don't want to get too sideways, because when you're sideways, that's when you're scrubbing off speed. So these guys are trying to carry as much momentum as they possibly can.
Brad, it looks to me like Max Wales trying to make some ground on that bottom line there as we see Dallas Daniels right there in all blue on that Yamaha. He's a little deeper in the pack, trying to get up to the front, but look at Whale back there in 3rd, using that bottom lane.
Yeah, he's definitely cutting off some real estate there. A little bit shorter way around the racetrack. The guys up top, they got to go in that much harder if they're going to go the longer way around the racetrack, where Whale is just cutting off a lot of time, where you see there how he's able to come in. Man, they're 3 wide coming off of turn 4.
And right in the middle of it is Mikey Rush on the 15. Is he going to be able to get the lead? No, he's actually going to slide wide in 3 and 4, and Whale's going to come up alongside.
Yeah, Max Whale, I'm super impressed with him right now, being able to take that lower line, but still able to get it turned and not quite get the bike sideways, getting a really good drive off the corner, too.
And you can see how he's able to go a little deeper into the corner there. That could be an advantage here as we get back to 1.
Yeah, but Morgan Mishler doing a great job. Well, let's go back to seeing these guys come 3 wide off of turn 4. Man, this is racing at its finest right here.
And you can see those rear ends of the motorcycles just fighting as hard as they can to get every little bit of traction to try to propel their rider to the front, which right now is number 13 of Morgan Mishler.
Yeah, Morgan's still taking that wider line coming into the corner, just carrying as much momentum as he possibly can, but seems like he's slipping up maybe a little bit coming off the corner where Max Whale and Mikey Rush are getting a pretty good drive.
Oh, look at this battle for second here, Brad. Max Whale and Mikey Rush having at it, and it looks like Whale has decided to slip back to third for now.
Yeah, there's a lot of racing left here. These guys are maybe just sizing themselves up a little bit, seeing where their strengths are, seeing where their weaknesses are. But, you know, deep down, they're all going for it at the same time.
Now Whale moves up a little bit. He's going to go to the outside of Rush. Rush still looking to get to the inside of our race leader, Mishler.
Yeah,
and look at Wales all the way to the bottom. He's going to take over second.
Wow, that was the lowest that he's gone this whole time, but he made it work, was able to take over second. He's able to hold on to it. Yeah, he does, going into turn 3.
Meanwhile, great racing action in the box on the right side of your screen, a little bit deeper in the field. Henry Wiles involved in that action.
Let's see if Max is able to take over the lead here. Man, they're side by side. Looks like Morgan's going to have the momentum and gets a drive around the outside, still hold on to the lead.
Here's Whale looking on the bottom again. We saw how far down he had to go to get second. Do you think he'll do that again to take the lead?
I think he will. I think that's his line right now, where he's just able to cut off a lot of time going to the bottom.
There he goes. Not able to complete the pass just yet. Can he get the drive off the corner?
That's a really hard line for Mishler to do, being able to carry that much more momentum around the outside, going the longer way around the racetrack.
But look how close he got that front tire to the backside of our race leader, Mishler. Now Will all the way down to the white line again and drifts up right alongside of Mishler.
He might have him this time. Mishler slips up a little bit.
Why, they can't twist that throttle any harder, can they?
No, they cannot, but look at them side by side again. This is the best race of the night so far.
Maxwell having to use all of that bigger body of his to get that traction to stick in the rear and drive up into the lead, which he has right now.
It looks like Maxwell definitely going to clear the lead this time. See what Morgan Mishler can do. He's going to go to work and see if he can get back by. Oh, he gets a good run on him, but not quite enough.
Pair of KTMs battling at the front of the field here in this very exciting AFT singles main event.
You can see going into turn 1 here, Morgan Mishler goes right through a bunch of packing out of another rider's exhaust. Lucky that's all soft and didn't bother him at all going through it.
And that packing used to quiet the exhaust, correct, Brad?
Yes, sir.
Well, we got great racing action going on here with this AFT singles main event. See if this guy, Maxwell, can hang on for the win on that KTM. Welcome back to Joliet, Illinois. Ralph Shaheen, Brad Baker, and Kristen Beat with you. Watching this thrilling AFT singles main event. Maxwell, the Australian, out front and leading right now with Wisconsin's Morgan Mishler right behind him in second.
I had my eye on Mikey Rush back in third. I think he's mimicking the line of Maxwell a little bit, trying to make up time on these guys, and I think he has. He's wheeling back up on them, but we're running out of time. Let's see what he's able to do.
Mikey Rush, the rider out of San Jose, California on the Yamaha, and he's got Dallas Daniels, his teammate, trying to close in as well from fourth.
Yeah, Maxwell not taking nearly as low of a line coming into the corner now. He's just running right on the outside of the rubber there. We call that the groove. That's probably right where there's just a little bit of moisture still left in the racetrack. Doing a really good job at keeping his wheels in line.
Is he running more of a protective line than Brad?
I'd say more just trying to carry his momentum right now. If he was running a protective line, it'd be dropping to the bottom, but I think he knows that he has a couple bike links on these guys right now to where he just has a little bit of breathing room.
And you can see Mishler having to move up a little bit further. He's still searching, and he better find it quick because here comes Mikey Rush.
Yeah, I think Mikey can smell blood in the water right now, but he only has a couple laps left to make it happen.
Rush going down to the bottom. Can he find some of that moisture down there to help propel him into second?
Yeah, this is such a great race. It's going to come down to the last corner here. One of these riders is going to have to get aggressive, but not too aggressive to make a mistake. If you push this a little too hard, that will actually hurt you more than help you.
Wales' only win was at Volusia, the season opener in 2020. Can he get his second here tonight?
And this would be his first win with his new team. I mean, this would be a dream come true from this kid from Australia. It's super impressive what he's been able to do in such a short amount of time running the American Flat Track Series.
Max sees the signal, 1 to go. And Rush back there in third has been on the podium in every round so far in 2021.
Yeah, really the only thing Mishler and Rush can do right now is run it in as hard as they can in turn 3 out of desperation. Oh, look, a little bit of white smoke coming out of Mishler. His mic might let go.
Well, Wales going to take the win. Mishler just brings the smoker home to take second, and Rush is on the podium once again.
Man, talk about luck on his side. If that would have happened one lap before, he might not have been able to finish the race.
Mishler got absolutely everything out of that KTM there was to get tonight, and he'll be on the podium in second, and Whale gets his second career victory.
Yeah, Dallas Daniels and Mikey Rush, give him the congratulations. Nothing but sportsmanship between all these riders. Man, that was a great race.
Yeah, and you can see the emotion, too, with Maxwell, how excited he is. He's going to the top step of the podium. Mishler and Rush will join him. Daniels finishes 4th, and there's a look. Shayna Texter-Bauman back in 10th, and that will be the rest of the field with Henry Wiles in 11th. Let's go to Kristen and our winner.
Earlier in the day, Maxwell telling me that if he won tonight, the stash is staying, it's here to stay. During that race, Max, there was so many epic passes, but one pass really stuck out to me and stood out to me, and it was your pass for the lead, and you were able to maintain after that. Max, what was it like racing on this track that riders throughout history have just said, this is the funnest track to race on? How fun was it for you?
Yeah, that main event was so much fun. I think, I was in 5th at one stage and found myself battling for 4th, 3rd, 2nd. And I found a line early on in the race that was working well. And then as the race got on, I noticed I seen a front wheel a couple times on the inside and on the outside. And I knew I had to change it up. So I started switching my line up about halfway through. And yeah, I found it. And it sort of just stayed there, which I'm pumped about. But I was kind of worried early on, the track, it was like one line and that, but man, it came into a great track and I had so much fun, good battles, and yeah.
Well, Brad, this one really tightened up the points.
Yeah, they're definitely a little bit tighter. You got 1 point separating Dallas Daniels and Mikey Rush. You see Shayna back there, only -16. We're going into a mile here next race in Oklahoma City. That'll be a strength for her. And Maxwell only 7 points out of the lead. It's going to get exciting.
Back to Kristen.
Morgan, we don't have the bike down here, and there's a reason for that. You rode the wheels off it. You gave it all you had. During that race, at one point, you were able to sit back and kind of watch what Maxwell was doing, go to school. What'd you learn about what Maxwell was doing out there, and how'd you try to get him in that final lap?
So the biggest thing is while we were racing, I was just thinking about what adjustment could I have made here? And, we didn't have time in between, but, just definitely a hats off to Mark Muth and my dad, Bill Mishler, for everything they do in the pits. It's just them. So I feel bad about what kind of happened to the track. They're gonna have to throw something down, but I'm glad it wasn't worse. So just fortunate to be here, fortunate to be protected by the best, Bell Helmets, NJK, Alpine Stars. I can't thank Parts Unlimited for all they do. Oh yeah. And it was a good day. Not exactly the note we wanted to end on at all. It is heartbreaking for sure.
Well, you saw with the points that Estes and Yamaha's Mikey Rush is now just 1 point behind his teammate for the battle in the championship, and he was right in the thick of this one all night, ends up finishing 3rd, and he's with Kristen.
From where I came early in the day, I can't complain off another podium. It's how many podiums now this year? It's every race, so I can't complain. I'm trying to be consistent, but boy, I really want that race win. But it'll come, I'm sure. But Max was riding awesome. Congratulations to him. And Morgan is always riding good and showing me some good lines. But the track kind of got tricky. And my mechanic, Shane, my crew chief, Nick Daniels, I couldn't ask for a better group of people. We have a lot of fun. It's awesome. Thank you.
We're going to expect to see a lot more out of Mikey Rush and this guy, Maxwell, the big winner, who told me not too long ago, not a big fan of American cheeseburgers, but I love me some Vegemite. I don't know. We might have to work on that, Max. But he's the big winner here today, Maxwell. We're coming back for more with American Flat Track. American Flat Track is brought to you by Cat Rental Store, the official heavy equipment supplier of AFT. Progressive insures over 5 million boats, motorcycles, and RVs. Get a quote in under 4 minutes at AmericanFlatTrack.com/progressive. And by Roof Systems of Dallas, Texas, the official roofing company of American Flat Track. Welcome back. The sun is down, the lights are on here in Chicago. You know, racers want to win, but they know things can go wrong. Well, things can go wrong when you're riding on the road as well. Law Tigers is there to help you if they do.
Hi, my name is Ari Levenbaum, and Law Tigers is a national association of motorcycle injury lawyers who represent injured riders throughout the country. And while our primary focus is helping riders who are in need, who are injured, we also support the community, in particular, American Flat Track Racing. And I'm so proud to be a part of this organization and to support many races throughout the country. I'm here today with my good friend Adam Sandoval.
I'm Adam Sandoval, and I'm a traveling motorcycle philanthropist. Taking great adventures is what my social media is all about, and Law Tigers has supported me from the beginning. Along my travels, a lady came left of center and hit me head on. The first phone call I made when I got to the hospital was my friends, the Law Tigers, and they took great care of me through the entire process. I hate for an accident to happen to anybody on the road, but if it happens to you, my recommendation is call the Law Tigers. They'll be there for you, just like they were there for me.
If you're ever injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit us at lawtigers.com. We are America's motorcycle lawyers.
Well, there's Corey Texter, who ran here when the series last competed here back in 2007. And Dalton Gauthier. And we're going to show you the highlights now, the AFT Production Twins main event. And this was some good racing too, Brad.
Yeah, it really was. Dalton Gauthier takes the lead over Danny Eslick early on, but then Chad Coase gets pretty aggressive on Ben Lau, takes over the lead going into turn one.
And you can see that 64 of Eslick, that green Kawasaki right in the mix, but Texter would come back to the front.
Yeah, it ended up being Corey Texter and Chad Coase coming all the way down to the wire. These guys are side by side for most of the race. Such a clean race between the two. Last lap, though, Corey Texter seems to have the helm. See what Chad Coase has to say about it.
Corey Texter on that number 65 Yamaha, the G&G Racing entry. He's got that competition from Coase coming up on the outside. Texter with a handful of throttle leads him to the line and takes the win in Production Twins. Coase and Eslick on the Kawasaki coming across behind him with Lowe and Varnes rounding out the top five. Here's a look at the points in a tight fight here too, Brad.
Yeah, really tight between Chad Coase and Corey Texter. Have been the two riders that have been most consistent all year long, but only 20 points between the top four. This is going to be a competitive class all year long as well.
Let's catch up with Kristen, who's standing by with Corey.
The Production Twins points leader, Corey Texter. Corey, before this race, come get it was the mentality, and you got it.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I try not to look into too much of that stuff on the internet. I just do my thing. I work hard, and that's all I can do. I know these guys are super talented. They're probably more talented than me, but I just don't feel like anybody's putting the work in that I'm putting in day after day, and I have to because these guys are such good riders. But yeah, it was a crazy race, man. I was back there, and then I just don't quit. I wanted to win it so bad, and Chad rode such a good race, and it's fun when you can race one of your buddies because it's just like we're in the backyard play riding, and appreciate you guys.
Well, that was fun to watch, and we're looking forward to the Mission Super Twins main event yet to go. Time for some Dunlop tire talk, Brad. What can we expect?
Yeah, you can see the tire getting wraps there. That's just the teams getting down some fresh rubber. I believe all the teams will be going with the R5. That's a medium compound tire. Tire wear shouldn't be a factor in the night, so these riders are going to be able to push as hard as they want and not have to worry about the tire.
Well, we're looking forward to that main event. It's coming up right after the break. You don't want to miss this one. Chicago, the Windy City at American Flat Track. Mission Super Twins ready to go green after this. Welcome back to NBCSN's coverage of the Progressive American Flat Track Series. Getting ready to go with our main event for Mission Super Twins, and Kristen's with the rider looking for a shot of victory.
Bronson Bauman, this season your best finish has just been outside of the top five. Tonight, to be able to be starting on the front row, to have good starting position. You got engaged over the weekend. Congratulations. And you won a semi. With things moving in the right direction, how do you capitalize on this momentum?
Yeah, life's just good right now, you know. I'm enjoying riding my motorcycle. My beautiful fiance, Alex, is here, you know. We got to bring our pups up here, camp. Life is just really good right now, and we're looking to cap it off with a win tonight.
He will certainly be one to consider for victory. Unfortunately, Sammy Halbert won't be. You see him on the starting lineup, but Sammy injured his foot in the Mission Super Twins Challenge at the end of the race, so he will not make the call for the start here, Brad.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to see Sammy not on the starting line, but we got a bunch of good riders that are going to be going for it here, going off both the singles and the production twins race and how close and exciting they were. I think this is going to be the same way.
Everybody ready to go. 10 minutes plus 2 laps, 13 riders on this big half mile. Here come the revs. Get ready. Mission Super Twins main event.
Looks like it's going to be a great start by Bronson Bauman, grabbing the whole shot, but Jared Mees is just right there up on the outside. Alexa go to the very top of the groove right away.
Bronson's on that 37 as they thunder past us and into turn 3.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to lead lap 1, but look at Briar Bauman way down at the bottom of the groove, already up in the 3rd position from the 2nd row.
Briar Bauman, the reigning champ, with the number 1 plate on the front of his Indian.
Yeah, look at him going down below the groove, trying to grab any moisture that might be down there still.
Right in the mix is Brandon Robinson on the 44, and Jared Mees has the familiar number 9 right in the mix at the front of the field.
And they're side by side entering the corner here. This is shaping up to be an amazing race. Look at Briar down on the bottom of the groove. He's the only one all the way down there, but look at Brandon Robinson just carrying really good momentum.
The 2-time and reigning champ, Bauman on that number 1, hasn't won a race in the last 8 tries, Brad.
Yeah, that's pretty uncharacteristic of Briar, who's won 6 to 8 races a season for the last 2 years. Let's see if he's able to make it happen here tonight.
He's trying that bottom line like he talked about. Here he comes, getting around Mees.
Yeah, you can tell that bottom line is working good for him. As the front wheel comes up in the air a little bit, you know that the bike is hooking up when you're wheeling off the corner.
Brad, we got to talk about Jared Vanderkoy. He's in the blue riding gear at the back of this group. He's holding down 5th. Remember, he got his first career runner-up finish at the Atlanta TT. Boy, that momentum, that confidence paying off here.
Definitely. Jared Vanderkoy has been really strong for the last couple years, but he's really meshing with this new team, being on the Roof Systems Missions team on the Indian FTR 750, really being happy with that motorcycle.
On board with Brandon Robinson, watching everybody chasing him. You can see how many lines there are.
Yeah, there sure are. This is a great onboard camera view. Look at Bronson trying to roll around the outside.
There's our mission onboard there with Robinson.
And you can see Briar still taking the lower line off the corner there. You can see Brandon just gets a little bit of a run off the corner on him, though, because it's that extra momentum he has rolling around the outside. You can see Briar decides to change it up a little bit, maybe going to follow his line now.
You can see Mees on the bottom, the black and yellow. And here comes Bauman. Boy, he took a shot at him and just couldn't get the drive he needed to get around Robinson.
Yeah, he's changed it up big time now. He's going to go up and follow him, see what he has up there. Mees is still on the bottom, though. Man, this is where it comes difficult. What line works? You need to kind of play around with it a little bit, see if you move forward and just try to find that smooth line, as Briar obviously finds something that works as he takes over the lead going into turn 3.
Now can he pull away? You can see how much he moves up the track. Robinson on the 44 looking inside. Here comes Mees. Boy, he closed up in a hurry, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. Wow, he's close.
Oh, boy! Contact there between Robinson and Mees. Mees stays upright. Down goes Robinson, as does another rider. That's James Rispoli. Oh, man, and it looks like Robinson is not feeling too good right now, Brad.
No, it looked like the handlebar might have came down on his right leg. I mean, that was a hard crash when you're going to slide out at that speed.
And you can see Rispoli was trapped under his bike. What happens here?
This looks like Jared Mees gets in a little too deep, gets into the side of Brandon Robinson, and almost wants to make him go over the high side, and basically just spins Robinson around. I mean, that could have ended even worse for both of them if they would have went over the high side. Hopefully, Brandon's right leg's okay. Looked like the handlebar came down. You can see, yeah, Jared just got into the side of him and couldn't do anything as he started to go over the high side.
This is from Briar Bauman as he gets to look at what took place behind him.
Yeah, he just clips his rear tire, has to stand it up and pushes Brandon around, but thankfully Robinson's okay, but I think he had to hop on his backup bike, and he's starting in the back of the pack. Let's see what he's able to do, make his way through the pack.
I can't believe he's made it back into the field. Here we go with a restart.
It's like a good restart by both Mees and Bauman out front. Got Jared Vanderkoy there in third.
Mees swinging wide, trying to carry some momentum down that backstretch.
It looks like Breyer decides to go back to the outside of the groove here. These guys are going to have to get themselves back in a rhythm. This is hard to do after you've been going for about 10 laps, is get yourself back in a rhythm, find the line, find your groove again.
And how about Vanderkoy now up to third?
Yeah, Jared Vanderkoy, he definitely capitalized a little bit off of this restart, but Bronson Bauman has not, going back to fifth, and Brandon Price now sitting in fourth place. Now we see Breyer drop back down to the bottom of the groove. I think he's just searching around a little bit, seeing what feels good for him. With the SNS onboard camera angle, this is such a cool shot here. You see Jared right behind him, following a similar line.
Yeah, Jared right in his wheel tracks. These two multi-time champions trying to pull away from the rest of the pack. Bronson Bauman, Brandon Price back here fighting as well.
And you can see Bronson starting to slip back a little bit. JD Beach and Brandon Price are battling out now.
JD's on that 95 in the blue and white.
Yeah, they're been having a really good showing with the Yamaha this year. A lot better than what they were last year. But now back out front here. We'll see how long Mees is this going to follow Breyer before he maybe decides to try a different line. You know, if he's following that same line and not making up any time, then he's going to have to try something different to make up some time for sure.
Mees won Volusia, the season opener. Then, of course, when we went to Atlanta, don't forget that knee injury in training. Seems to be okay here today. Here's the 44 of Brandon Robinson, bouncing back from that crash, working his way up through the field.
Yeah, looking great. He's having some of the best lap times of the race so far.
We're coming back for more from Chicago after this. Welcome back, Joliet, Illinois. The first of 5 races the American Flat Track Series will run in the state of Illinois this year. And look at this battle. Jared Vanderkoy on the outside of Jared Mees, and Brady goes right around him.
Yeah, he's making that high line work, rolling on the outside of the groove, finding a little bit of traction up there. Looks like Jared is now going to follow him up there. Obviously, that line was faster than what he was running. Jared's a smart rider. He's going to go, okay, I'm going to go up here, see if that's better. Maybe he can, both of them will be able to track down Breyer.
Well, here's how he did it.
Yeah, just coming into the corner a little bit harder, carrying his momentum. Jared's mid-corner speed isn't nearly as fast, and Jared's just able to carry that momentum right around the outside.
Brandon Robinson on that 44. Really thought he had a shot for the win tonight, but here he is fighting over 5th, Brad, as he continues to march up through the field, battling with Brandon Price.
Yeah, super impressive ride, making himself into the top 5 already. Bronson Bauman will be the next in line, but he's on a charge right now. You know that he wants to possibly get a podium, but I don't know if he's going to have enough time.
Yeah, the clock is ticking down as we watch Beach and Davis Fisher battling, and here we come back up to the number 44 of Robinson, who is closed in on Bauman now.
Yeah, he's caught up to him quick. Looks like Bauman's having some issues getting off the corner. You see him slipping up a little bit there. You see all the riders, actually, not all the riders, but a lot of the riders, you see their rear brake rotor glowing. The riders actually will drag the brake, and it works as kind of a traction control. It slows down the wheel speed, gets every little bit of horsepower to the ground. As you see, Brandon cuts off some real estate to the middle of the corner, takes over the 4th position coming off of turn 2.
Next time by the flag stand will be 2 to go.
2 to go. Brandon Robinson, I don't think he's going to be a happy camper after this, knowing how good he felt and how much time he was able to make up, but it could have been a really good race at the lead if wouldn't have went down.
Well, and Briar Bauman coming into this one, he hadn't won a race in the last 8 tries. 3 seconds, 3/3, 2/4, and now finally he's headed back to the top step of the podium.
Yeah, Briar was able to run a line that nobody else was able to on the bottom here, looking great.
Briar Bauman, the reigning champion, back to the top step of the podium. He wins here tonight in Joliet, Illinois.
And Jared Vanderkoy coming home in 2nd. It actually looked like he was able to make up some time on Briar there at the end, run that higher line, keeping up some good momentum. Went around the 5-time Grand National champion Jared Mees. I mean, he's coming into his own on this Indian motorcycle on the Roof Systems Mission Foods back team.
What a way to celebrate the Memorial Day weekend. Here's a look at the results. Bauman, Vanderkoy, and Mees. Even though it's a 3rd, with everything he had to deal with that knee, that's a big step for Jared Mees. Get back up on the podium with a 3rd place finish here. James Rispoli knocked out of it. He ends up 11th, and we go to Kristen with the winner.
Breaking an 8-race winless streak. Briar, what does this win say to all the speculation regarding when Briar Bauman will be back on the podium?
Honestly, I'm just happy to be here, be racing again. I try and say I wasn't counting, but I was. It's a weird deal. We were so dominant the second half of the season last year, and I haven't been at all. And I'm gonna be honest, the fire hasn't been there at all. I've been kind of burnt out on a lot of things, and just been enjoying my time at home with Shane and my dog. So right now the fire's back. I'm happy the racing's coming again, and after an absolutely horrendous semi, I was kind of bummed. I didn't know where I was at because obviously we're quick all day, and we were able to get some good lines like early on in the main event, kind of search around. I was able to watch the guys in the dash and see what they're doing, and yeah, the Indian motorcycle powered by Progressive was so good in the main event. I didn't know where we were going to stand, and I'm happy it was in the middle of the podium.
Well, now I'm sure this guy, Briar Bauman, like to see if he can string 8 in a row, the different kind. Maybe standing on the top step of the podium with 8 straight victories. We're going to come right back, talk to the rest of the podium finishers after these words. American Flat Track is brought to you by Indian Motorcycle, official partner of Progressive American Flat Track. American Flat Tracker, the official apparel of AFT. And by Mission Foods, has you covered with race day recipes that are too fast, too tasty. And the celebration continues down in the Victory Circle area. Kristen Beat is down there and ready to talk to Jared Vanderkoy. He's starting to find himself regularly on the podium.
2 consecutive podiums. Jared, I gotta ask you, where did you come from?
Man, I have no clue. Just my team pumped me up. My girlfriend pumped me up. I mean, I feel like I belong up here now, you know. This is 2 in a row, but super happy to be up here in front of the fans and have a good time.
This transition from the Harley to the Indian just seems to suit you. You look like you're creating flow out there. You look so confident. Where's that stemming from?
Man, just being on a good motorcycle, you know, Mission Foods, Roof Systems, HCRR, everyone puts me behind it. Ben Evans Racing, Jay Maloney, everyone just putting work in. So I'm glad that I could help out, you know. So we'll see what we can do in the future. So everyone that's supported me all through these years, you know, just I'm really gelling with the bike and having a good time.
Well, Brad, let's take a look at the points here.
Yeah, Briar Bauman takes over the points lead from JD Beach. The top 5 are all within 15 points, but Jared Mees sitting there in 3rd, going to Oklahoma City next, where he's won the last 3 races there, possibly able to make up some ground.
Let's go back one more time to Kristen.
I was riding on the back of Briar, and I started trying to just make, you know, I was just kind of maxing his pace, and I was trying to just search around a little bit, and boom, he gapped me out. And then here came Vanderkoy around the outside, and the bottom wasn't working for as many laps as I was on the bottom, so I figured I'd go up to where Jared's line was working and see if there was something there. And honestly, it didn't seem like it worked any better for me. So, I can't say enough for the Indian Motorcycle team. You know, a few weeks ago, I was laid up, propped my leg up, and I was just sitting there like, I was pretty emotional, man, you know, because I felt so good coming into the season, and to get hurt training and you know, question of how my season might go, you know, from that point on. And I'm looking forward to a couple weeks off, honestly, and go to Oklahoma City. I really love that place.
Brad, these riders are going to be ready to get on a mile, aren't they?
Yeah, they definitely will. Mile racing is totally different than half-mile racing. This will be our first time going to Oklahoma City since 2018. I'm ready to watch some mile racing.
You'll see it June 26th right here on NBCSN. For Kristen Beeden, Brad Baker, I'm Ralph Shaheen. Congratulations to Max Whale, Corey Texter, and Briar Bauman. So long, everybody.